On stage, Donald Trump discusses the largest wealth transfer in history. Is he referring to digital property? Here we'll follow up as well. We have Goldman Sachs head of digital assets. He has a wealth of excellent information regarding the disruption wave and the assets that will be impacted next. Flair provided us with some updates. In this video, we received updates from Robinhood, XRP, and a lot more. Let's begin here, gentlemen, with President Trump discussing the largest wealth transfer in decades. A growing market will suffice. Yes, it will rise significantly. Actually, I informed folks that this is an excellent opportunity to buy 5 weeks ago. For that, I received criticism. They no longer criticize me now. It's going to go much higher, but people should have paid attention. We've never experienced anything like this, you see. Great businesses are entering the market and investment and employment are booming. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, this comment is the next thing that follows that. We recently signed a historic trade deal with the United Kingdom and we made a historic deal with China over the weekend. Both are excellent offers. China has agreed that we must understand it and all of its nuances. You're going to put a lot of effort into that, Scott, but China has pledged to open up to the United States for trade and other purposes, and they must. We'll see what transpires. However, our encounter with both of those nations was excellent. We're all okay. Guys, there's a lot going on here. Although there is too much to cover in this movie, it appears like some more sensible people are in charge here. Additionally, both the US and China have drastically reduced their tariff numbers. That China dropped to roughly 10% of our goods and the US went from 145% to 30% on China. That's a little bit better than what it was, you know. It remains greater than when Biden maintained some tariffs in select regions after Trump initially lifted them during his first term. Just so you know, this will still be 11% more than the Biden tariffs. Okay, here, President Donald Trump formally announces a strategic economic alliance with Saudi Arabia. I'm sure this party will be fantastic. Okay, the subsequent disruption. Excuse me, Speaker Matthew D. McDer, Goldman Sachs Global Head of Digital Assets. I'll explain this to you. Regarding that, where do you think blockchain will have the largest immediate influence on traditional finance? How will the next wave of disruption manifest itself? In any case, I believe that the stable coin bills that have passed both chambers will have a significant effect on the US. Many people have discussed stable coins as the killer app. But I believe that if the rules permit financial institutions to embrace this technology quickly and readily, you might see it utilized more frequently. Therefore, it speeds up the big players' usage of digital currency. And that strikes me as something that is really intriguing, and we are clearly keeping a careful eye on it. More generally, I believe that the market-related infrastructure bill has been the focus of attention as the year draws to a close. Permissibility is therefore crucial for organizations like ours. Therefore, the capacity to trade or at least use stable currencies, and then have the power to touch the underlying balance sheet is that which is permitted. According to the administration's sequencing, I believe there are 2 important phases there, but I find both to be fascinating. What do you believe it will signify in the near future, though? I take it that they are so optimistic about stable coins because it is boosting their currency. Every central bank has its own currency, whether it's the US dollar, the UK pound, the European Union euro, the Swiss franc, etc. We all want our currency to perform well, and if it's not being used as much around the world, we need to figure out how to fill the gaps left by people not purchasing US debt. The best solution they've found is stable coins, which are backed by securities of some kind, usually treasury bonds. For example, Scott Bent says, we need a buyer on the other side to level out that market if China, Japan, the UK, and some of our other allies are going to be selling government, our debt. If not, there might be repercussions akin to a national emergency. It might be disastrous for the US currency if the bond market were to hit, say, 5% or 6%. As a result, they are currently closely monitoring the bond market. That is a small piece of feedback directly from the reliable coin discussion platform for financial services and markets. This is a really good topic, in my opinion, and when you consider what motivates us to invest and devote time to that aspect of our business, I believe that resilience is rather crucial. When you look at how the markets function these days, you'll notice that there are really rigid cutoff hours. This capacity to actually sort of execute transactions at the exact moment you need them to is incredibly powerful, especially when it comes to intraday trades. That, in my opinion, is a form of resilience. Additionally, I believe that risk, which we have discussed, is crucial because, as you can see, there is a great deal of embedded risk in collateral markets. This technology enables you to drastically cut down on that, and you are aware that this can be achieved by simply allocating collateral more smoothly, such as using tokenized treasuries or money market fund tokens, which you can do with T+0 pricing. Nowadays, many derivatives and other financial contracts are collateralized by products with likely T+1 T+2 prices. Therefore, in order to clearly manage that risk, you need to have larger buffers. This capacity to allocate collateral more smoothly becomes quite potent. Transparency is the other one, as I believe you are aware. Over the next 3 days, there will be a lot of buy-side activity with a particular emphasis on private funds and a variety of other fund types as we look at the speakers. And that's really intriguing because if you can tokenize and scale that marketplace, you know it opens up a new investor base and allows for the airdropping of data and other things. This way, everyone can easily access real-time data, which isn't as effective in many different markets today. You can definitely see how that could lead to more active trading after that. There are a lot of interesting developments, but I believe there are a lot of different things there. Given that we only trade in the stock market for a limited number of hours per day in these other bond market types, I believe we are underestimating the size of the demand when 247 trading occurs. Imagine doing it all year round. It doesn't matter where you are in the world or what time it is. You can start trading these assets right away and they will be quite powerful in the days ahead. Van is breaking the news that VanEck is launching a 120 billion tokenized treasury fund. The VNC Treasury Fund, the V-Bill, has been launched by the asset manager along with the current crypto ETFs and VC funds. It is currently active on the Ethereum Avalanche Solana BNB chain, which is powered by Securitize and Wormhole. However, the reason I am showing you this is because it is only a matter of time as you already have the XRP ledger working with XYZ and we already know that VanEck will be very interested in XRP products. I am unable to comprehend and work with Ripple as well as I used to. They are well aware of who they are collaborating with. Therefore, I believe that XRP will soon be included to that list. Next, you discuss where you believe XRP collaborations and utility are trending in 2025. It talks about here the Office of Counter Controller Currency greenlights crypto services to all banks in the US are still waiting on a few things to be lifted, but you are getting the clear guidance that you need all over the US right now so banks can start holding crypto. Do you think there's a piece of me or part of me that does think banks are going to want to wait for regulation from Congress before they really start actively engaging in this? But there's going to be some banks that maybe take it upon themselves to be the first ones. It'll be interesting to report on that stuff and give you guys all that information. So as soon as I can, I will do that. And he talked about asset manager wisdom emphasizes that XRP could need to achieve a price jump of 14x to $34 to overtake Bitcoin to take the #1 spot. There are a lot of people like myself that believe XRP is going to be the most liquid market cap of any crypto asset on the planet. I believe that in my heart and in my soul, and I think over time a lot of people will come to see that, hey, XRP was the dark horse, the one that people, dismissed because of all the legal challenges and in all the stuff that, XRP and the community went through. I think a lot of people aren't expecting what's about to happen, and I'm just thankful and honored to be on this journey with you. And wherever it takes us, good, bad, or in between, I'll be here to help you guys. Alright, I'll see you later. I am Crypto Sensei, and I am very grateful that you have persevered. Aloha.